Greetings, citizens of the mobile nations. I'm Ashley Esqueva, and it's time for your Mobile Nations Monday Brief, where we bring you Crackberry, Android Central, Windows Phone Central, the iPhone blog, and Pre-Central's news from this past week, just in case there was something you missed. And we also tell you what's going to happen this coming week. So let's check out what's been going on in your mobile nations. Over in the land of Crackberry, Kevin actually spent time this last week in Waterloo, which, if you're not aware, is the birthplace of BlackBerry phones. That's right, RIM's headquarters. Research in Motion did not disappoint, as they had their annual shareholders meeting last week. But even cooler than that, Kevin actually got to check out the production line for the BlackBerry 9900.
Well, I guess I'm in RIM building number 8 in Waterloo. I just saw Blackberries being born. I don't think I'm allowed to say which ones, but let's just say awesome. And I didn't see anything I wasn't supposed to. Wink, wink.
While Kevin had a great time checking out the production line of the 9900, he got a little bit overexcited about it, and when he realized that RIM wasn't going to give him one at the end of his trip, decided to take matters into his own hands.
I got my gold 9900!
Stop right there, son.
Holy
Get the rock! Get the rock!
One of my favorite stories coming out of Windows Phone Central this week is one that Daniel wrote about gesture control and Windows Phone 7. So Microsoft bought a company last year called Kinesta, and they actually specialize in gesture technology, chip making to be exact. They're actually looking to shrink down the size of the Kinect chip to 1 centimeter. Considering Microsoft's goal is to unify all of their systems and devices with a connected user experience, we'd say this is pretty exciting news for Windows Phone users. I guess there's only one question left. How would you use a gesture-controlled Windows Phone? Phil and Co. over at Android Central have been checking out some pretty interesting Android devices this last week, the first of which is the Droid 3, which looks like a mighty and winning successor to the Droid 2.
And see what we have here. So it's a 4-inch screen, it's got a QHD resolution, so it's a higher res than any previous Motorola Droid.
Now, the other device that Phil and the gang are checking out is the Toshiba Thrive, which is the newest, latest, greatest Android tablet to hit the market.
So, here is the Thrive. It is pretty thick compared to something like the Galaxy Tab 10.1. But let's face it, at this point, anything other than an iPad is pretty thick compared to the Galaxy Tab 10.1.
I kind of love a full-size SD card slot. I'm not going to kick it out of bed for eating crackers, if you know what I mean. Derek over at Pre-Central reported on a pretty big shakeup over at HP this last week. Hewlett-Packard has appointed Stephen Dewitt as the head of the Webos Global Business Unit. But what exactly does that mean for Webos's beloved John Rubinstein? Well, it looks like he may have actually been demoted. But don't fear, he's been appointed as the Personal Systems Group's new Senior Vice President of Product Innovation. Derek seems to think this is a great thing for WebOS lovers everywhere because it puts Ruby back in the place where he excels the most, creating cool stuff and technology for us to enjoy. Allison and Renee over at the iPhone blog were putting up some pretty cool stories this week, one of which being Renee's bit on how Apple has released iOS 5 Beta 3 for developers. If you're a developer that is paid and registered with Apple, you can actually go get it right this second. So if you're not developing, get on it, people. iOS 5 is coming, and it's coming soon. Allison, on the other hand, put up a thought-provoking, objective blog on jailbreaking and what it means to the iPhone community. She went on to say that she really felt that jailbreaking and the community surrounding it was a vital part of iOS, as it sort of paves the way for innovation in future releases of iOS and other devices. It's a really great piece, and even if you're not a member of the iPhone Nation, it's definitely worth a read. As for the Mobile Nations podcast, there wasn't one this week, but I want to tell you about 3 amazing podcasts that we have on our Mobile Nations docket that might help you out with the technology in your life. First, there's Zen in Tech, which talks about using technology to center your inner geek and relieve the stresses of a connected life. Super Functional, which talks about topics like the benefits of a standing desk and how to relieve the dreaded crackberry claw. And Iterate, which is all about user experience and design for Android, iOS, WebOS, and more. If you want more details or if you'd like to listen to any of these fantastic podcasts, head over to mobilenations.com/shows for more info. We know that you guys love free stuff, and that's why we're going to tell you about 2 really cool giveaways happening this week in Mobile Nations. So the very first one is Android Central is giving away a Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1. That's right, the thinnest, the lightest tablet on the market. They're giving it away with the help of SmartGuard, so if you want more details, head over to Android Central and check out how to win. In addition, the Super Functional Podcast is giving away an 8GB iPod Nano for your Nike plussing, jogging, running pleasure. So head over to theiPhoneblog.com and search for Walking Dread, and you'll find out how to enter the contest. Well, that's it for your Mobile Nations Monday Brief. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube at youtube.com/mobilenations. You can find me on Twitter at Ashley Esqueda. Mobile delegates, you have been briefed.